My mom is a strong, independent Colombian woman. All right? Like, my mom makes some noise. My Latinas, make some noise. Yeah, those are my brown people and my possible felons. Hell yeah. You're goddamn right. But no, my mom's legit. Bogota, Colombia. She didn't come to this country until she was 21. Okay, she grew up in the time of Pablo Escobar. All right? My mom, look, she grew up in a place where if her best friend got kidnapped by the cartel, she hit the streets like a badass little girl and found a new best friend. Like, no big deal, forget about Maria, alright? You know, my Latinos will tell you, you gotta be looking around, right? Latinos, that's why they're looking around, you know? Looking around for kidnappers and ICE agents, that's it. Yeah, man, but there were other tricks my mom used to not get kidnapped. Like, she would walk to school, hand to God, she'd walk to school like she had a jacked up hip. You know, no, seriously, because my grandma used to say, the bigger the limp, the lower the ransom. You guys never heard that? A bunch of white folks never heard that. My Latinos know. No, seriously, if you got kidnapped, you act like you know, you're paraplegic or something. The kidnappers might give you a ride home. You know what I'm saying? That's how you make your parents proud in Bogota, right? But my mom's gangster though, man. She just grew up in a different time and a place. One of the first lessons my mom ever taught me that stuck with me. I was a little, like 7, 8-year-old. She looks down at me, she's like, Brian, if something happens and the police come, don't say a word. And I look up, I'm like, lady, I don't even like soccer practice. We can get the hell out of here. Like, I don't want to talk to nobody. So she bought me a Nintendo because she was so proud of my answer. And I'm like, Mom, I love you. She's like, honey, I could have 100 kids. They would all love me. You got to do better. Like, that's parenting, you white folks. That's how you parent. Because I told her my dad's white, and my mom's, you know, Colombian. It's very different cultures. The way they look at my comedy is very different. My father won't get on board. My dad, he's dying of lung cancer. Hand to God, 4 years in, and he says to this day, chemotherapy doesn't make me throw up, but your jokes do. Like, instead of I love you? Like, what? Yeah, and he says it's bullshit that I'm a comedian, but at least I'm not in prison. Like, that's the ballpark he thinks this is in. My parents been divorced and my mom defends me. She's like, your dad's an idiot. Prison would make you hilarious, boy. As my Latinos, they're like, yeah, you get jokes with felonies, right? My Latinos know. Yo, but I told you, my mom's tough. But my dad, he's on to something. Because you guys understand, comedy is the hardest thing I ever done. And when I first started comedy, I sucked. I mean, every penis, every way possible. Yo. I'm from LA, all right? Like, I got started at the Comedy Store. One time when I first got started, I got diarrhea and Down syndrome all in 3 minutes, all right? Like, there are people who have post-traumatic stress because of my early years in comedy, okay? But then you work real hard and you get chances, and guys like Orny, they bring you out and you get opportunities. And this last year, I made all of my money off comedy, acting, and Air Bnb'ing my apartment. So I'm doing good. I'm doing good because I have a sexy apartment. It's not rapey at all, okay? Oh, but I love my Airbnb. Airbnb is like Tinder for your apartment. I be matching people up to have sex in my bed all the time. Oh my goodness. Like, I loved him, but you gotta be careful because you can't just let any jabroni stay in your apartment. No way, Jose. Like, if it's a single person, man, because people like bid on your place. You don't have to accept everyone. And if they're single, you gotta look at their Facebook, their Instagram, because if they're climbing walls and riding horses and going to the beach, like, I get it, you're adventurous, but you ain't tracking that adventurous dirt into my apartment. You know what I'm saying? Move on, Crocodile Dundee. You know what I'm saying? No. I want to see you winning awards for Employee of the Month. Then maybe I'll think about it. And then couples. Man, you gotta be real careful if you let a couple stay in your place because you know they're smashing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know it. So you gotta investigate, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want experienced people at my place. No experimenting. No, that's where I draw the line. You're gonna stick your thumb where it's never been, go to a Motel 6, all right? That is acceptable at a Motel 6. It says it on the back of the door. Seriously, I don't want any man or woman losing their virginity in my apartment. Oh, hell no, honey, no. That's when tears happen, all right? Ain't enough sage in the world gonna burn that shitty mojo out. I want couple, make some noise if you've been married over 10 years. Yeah, those are the people I want staying in my crib because they might not have sex at all. Yeah, that's what I like. The odds are much lower, you know what I'm saying? If you've been married more than 10 years, you are in, you are out, and right back to emails. Yeah, that's my guy. You know, no experimentation whatsoever. Like, you know about your body. All right? Like, it's natural. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. It's natural if you have an orgasm on my sheets. All right? Look around. We've all done it. But if you're squirting all over my walls, you're a jerk. Learn about your body. Nobody squirts anything on the walls on purpose. No way. Look at this guy. If he squirted anything on the wall, she'd be like, you clean it up, and I told you not to stick it there. That's what I'm looking for. Experience, man. And it's not all fun and games. People steal all of my really nice towels that I stole from really nice hotels. Vicious cycle, man. Now I gotta take all the towels from the gym, you know, the ones that make it feel like you sanding your body down. Gotta know what you're doing. Let these 3 lesbians from Argentina stay in my place. Oh man, these girls are a hot mess. They didn't know how to make the tub go down so the bathroom smelled like a swamp. They bought a cat when they're on vacation. Who buys a cat when they're on vacation? I don't need a microphone. Plenty of cats in Argentina. That's not a thing. You don't go on vacation and buy a cat. Like, no one's ever gonna do that. Oh, they were fine. So I imagine they're just making beautiful lesbian love all over my apartment, so I left them a 5-star review because I'm the bitch of the story. Let me tell you how it ends. Because I started Air Bnb'ing because I'm a manager of my building, right? So I'm like, who's gonna catch me? The neighbors start to do it, and they just start renting it to anyone. Someone does a porno shoot in their apartment, and the cops get called. Couldn't make this up, right? The owner of the building calls me. She's like, Brian, are you Airbnb-ing your apartment? And I'm obvious like, oh, hell no. Like, I don't even know, I'm offended by the question, right? And she says, then why do you have 49 reviews? And I'm like, oh, I obviously misunderstood the question. I thought you meant you want to Airbnb with me. Like, no, of course I don't. So I guess what I'm trying to tell you guys is I live in West Hollywood, and I have about 14 days available until I get evicted. So if anyone is interested, we can talk by the merch booth in the back. I'll tell that joke again if you guys don't give me more. I don't care. The economy of my life, and all these opportunities, they make me happy. Because it's like, all I try to preach to people is you have to do you. Like, whatever makes you happy. Like, there's so many people doing things anymore, you're not gonna get served up any kind of happiness. Like, you gotta go out and you gotta try. And look, before comedy, I was the West Coast public relations manager of the Wall Street Journal. Like, I tried to do work, real work, but I knew I could do more with my words. So my next job after that was a DJ at a strip club. You know what I'm saying? Like the Mighty Do Fall. And if you're gonna live your dreams, you can't worry about your credit. Like, there's a trade-off. Like, if your credit score, okay, no, if my credit score was your SAT score, none of you would get into the University of Puerto Rico, all right? Like, but you put your ass out there and you try, and it's like, for some guys that DJ at a strip club, that's a good job, but I'm a germaphobe, so I'd be having panic attacks and shit, like, oh my goodness, because LA strip clubs, they're, whatever you think they are worse. There are girls that ain't seen sunlight in 6 to 8 years, like, But I learned, strippers and comedians, man, a lot of the same stuff. We're on a stage, in a dark room, in front of a bunch of strangers. And strippers and comedians, if we can't get a response from the audience, we gotta do a little sucky-sucky out by the ocean to make some money, okay? So laugh harder! Sucky-sucky, yeah, it's good, right? I get it. That joke is like sex. Even though I mess it up, still pretty good, right? Like, still. But I also learned that I got a real diverse family. And a lot of my family, my mom gave me opportunities to try and to fail and to do things. And very diverse, okay? My older brother is gay, all right? And I saw all kinds of things growing up. And when I say my older brother is gay, like there's a homosexuality scale, all right? Like at the top, it's guys that dress up like the penis Grim Reaper. You know what I'm saying? Like a big black penis with a sickle, you know, like they do, like. But then there's like my brother, which is like Neil Patrick Harris gay, all right? Because at first you don't know, like you have no idea, and then later on when you're told that he's gay, you're like, oh, I knew. No, I totally knew. Like I definitely knew. But I learned you gotta be true to who you are. Like, the society, don't worry about societal pressures. If your parents don't like it, if your family don't like it, it doesn't matter. As long as you're not hurting anyone, it doesn't matter. That's really it, as long as you're not hurting anyone. And I saw a lot of people hide who they are, and people, they confuse things. And one of my friends was dead serious. He's like, since your older brother is gay, would you shower in the locker room with a man that you knew was gay? I'm like, yeah, bro, why not? He's like, what if he runs up and rapes you? Like runs? Because I didn't think about this, you guys, and I mean this sincerely. I have never seen a man run with an erection. I watch a lot of pornography. I've never seen it one time. You know what I'm saying? Like I've Googled it a bunch. Like I've even tried. I can get a crab walk. You know, like you gotta keep the knees kind of locked up though. You know. And it's like Viagra and Cialis, they've been around forever. You think they would have had one commercial by now with like an older gentleman crossing the finish line, like, oh! And people are like, oh, he's still a rap! That's amazing! Like, look, all I'm trying to say is if you can run with an erection, don't tell anyone, because that's crazy. But secondly, everyone in this room, if we're showering with some dude and he starts to rape us, none of us are going to care that he's gay. We're all going to be mad he's a rapist. You guys understand the difference? So you got to be good to pigs, man. You got to. But I did learn a lot from my brother. Now this is my favorite holiday. He actually came out of the closet. It was Thanksgiving. We're at my dad's house, and it was one of those big, giant, like Thanksgiving dinners where you have your neighbors and friends over, people like you don't really even know, friends of friends. And my brother and dad, like they've hated each other pretty much forever. And my brother's like, watch this. Right when they're serving stuff, he stands up and comes out the closet, and everyone's like, like, do we clap or do we cry? Like, I don't know, is this like a tradition? You know what I'm saying? Everyone's confused, they don't know what to do. And right when I couldn't get like any more quiet, my brother says, you guys heard me right. I enjoy penis. Now please pass the yams. My dad ain't eaten a yam in 14 years. And I don't think he eats pickles, nothing. Bananas, nothing. So like I said, if you have one kid that you like, you better love that kid, okay? Now, before I bring up Orny, this is one of my favorite stories to tell. And this affected my childhood a lot. I grew up next to this dude, this ogre named Jacob. All right, Jacob was like my arch nemesis. At 13 years old, Jacob had a beard. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jacob he had a penis till his knee. At 13, it was incredible. You've never seen anything like it. Like, oh. Well, like Jacob grew up, you know what I mean? Like his legs grew into his penis. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it usually happens the other way around. But that's not the point, like at all. Jacob used to beat me down all the time. Jacob was a big, badass dude. And he'd say, I'm bigger than you, and I'm better than you because I'm gifted. I'm so gifted because I'm born on Christmas. Like, what are you talking about, Jacob, right? Like all the time, I'm so gifted because I'm born on Christmas. I'm so gifted. And I was telling my mom this story, and in a passing conversation, she's like, oh, honey, did you know that Jacob was adopted? Absolutely no, lady. I had no idea. I found Jacob on Facebook, and I sent him a message in very specific, very clear language explaining to Jacob that technically, you are re-gifted. So I think I won. I think I won, ladies and gentlemen. And for those of you not laughing, that was my heart and soul right there, okay? I have feelings too.